A long time ago, in the period of warring states, 7 states of Middle Asia fought fiercely for the domination in the region.
Excuse me, but we're gonna play a tile placing game.
Shh. 3 centuries of endless wars brought chaos, havoc, and left what today's China soaked in blood of the fallen soldier.
What? I mean, we're gonna place some tiles, get some points, have some fun, not so much bloodbathing thing going on.
That tormented land had never seen so many bodies left on the fields of battles. Black crows feasting.
I'm just saying it's a bit abstract game, so why so serious?
Hey man, I'm trying to set the mood here, right? But the urge
Tile
of the endless power
placing
was too tempting for the rulers to resist.
animal
And so the warfare continued
miniatures.
until there was no man left.
For fuck's sake! Yeah, whatever. Greetings YouTube, my name is Adam aka Weekly Game Night, and today I'm doing preview for Huang from Phalanx Games, and I'm taking you on an adventure to the ancient China, to the era of endless wars between 7 warring states. And Huang, originally known as Yellow and Yangtze, was designed by Reinier Knizia, and in this revised edition you're gonna find pretty much the same rules but some additional components and additional models that will be available on GameFound, cause well, this game is launching on GameFound on February 28th, so save the date and you can find the link to the campaign in the description of this video. Well, now let me show you what this game is all about. But before we do, I would really appreciate if you could hit the sub button or like underneath the video. Well, without further ado, let's continue and see what Huang is all about. Huang takes us to the period of warring states, a time of endless wars between 7 rival states in ancient China. In this tile placing game, up to 5 players will recreate that period. So expect a lot of optimization, clashes, and ways to outsmart the other players. These warring states are represented by connected tiles and leaders placed on the game board. In this turn-based game, players take their turns one by one until they run out of tiles. Each player will perform 2 actions per turn, including placing leaders, placing tiles, incite riots, place pagodas, refresh tiles, and of course there will be some combat. You will score different colored victory points by placing tiles, controlling pagodas, and winning the wars and revolts. The winner will be the player who scores the highest in their lowest scoring color. To help with that, there is a special white color that provides wild victory points that can be used as any other color points. In this video, I'm presenting you the prototype of Huang's Deluxe Edition, so make sure you check out the campaign on GameFound, as Phalanx team has prepared plenty of modules and additional content. I hope you've enjoyed the little presentation that I did, and now let me tell you how does it actually feel to play Huang. First of all, it's fast. Thanks to the elegant set of rules, this game is so flowy, and it's about constant interactions between the players, ever-changing game board, and it's so engaging. First gameplay took us about 2 hours for 4 players, and the second one we managed to squeeze it in within an hour. So that's a pretty impressive time for a game that after you finish it, you have the feeling of finishing like a big game. So yeah, that's pretty amazing. So at first, when Phalanx reached out to me to do the preview for this game, I wasn't super happy about it because that's not exactly up my alley, I would say at first. But then when I actually play it, it has this factor of I need to play it or I want to play it one more time. And well, it's fun, and it was really surprising to me that this game is so much fun. In general, I like competitive games very much, and Huang delivers hell of a gameplay, and you just want to other players to finish their turns, and you want to, you know, place your tiles or place your leaders. It's simple, but it's very satisfying. As you know by now, Huang is the revised edition of the Yellow and Yangtze game, and I think now it's a good time to tell you a little bit more about what has changed. To be honest, every single component of the game was redesigned. So leaders now got brand new animal miniatures, each pagoda miniature is different, and the whole graphic design, including the game board, the tiles, screens, is now more professional and mature. I just maybe wish that the board was more interesting, but I get the plain design to easily distinguish what is actually placed on the board. So all in all, you get the completely new game in terms of graphic design and plastic. And what about the theme? So the theme is ancient China, warring states, a lot of wars, clashes, rivalry between the states. But to be honest, so the theme is there just to justify the game. The game in its core is an abstract tile placement game in which you have two types of, let's call them tiles, because you have tiles and leaders. You can place them on the board, and when you play it, you don't get the feeling of, you know, recreating historical events. It's rather focusing on gathering points, optimizing your turn, and the color of the tiles, the leaders, and what they do. So this game isn't necessarily or at all historically accurate. So the theme is there. I'm glad that it's theme that is not very popular, so it's something different, but still it's not a historical game at all. Huang brings very interesting concept when it comes to the factions and controlling the states. So usually you pick your color and remember that all the game components of the chosen color on the board are yours. Well, it's not the case with Huang, because here you choose the faction, and by faction I mean sculpts. So all your leaders have the same sculpt, but they have different color of the standees. And you don't control states at any point, you just rather are looking for the best solution how to place your leader and the tiles. So is it good or bad? Well, it's just different, and at first I thought that it would be complicated for me to remember not to look at colors but to look at leaders' sculpts when it comes to your faction, but it works out. Actually, I didn't have any problem with that, so that's pretty refreshing. Another thing I liked about Huang is the victory points system. So you gather points of different colors, but in the end, the highest points in your lowest color is your final score. That's a bit tricky because throughout the game you need to focus on gathering points of all colors plus the white ones that will give you the wild points, victory points. But that's really neat because you can't just focus on one color, or for example, if you have good situation in some part of the board and you are constantly getting, let's say, yellow points, it's good for nothing because at some point of the game you know that you have enough yellow points and you need to focus on the other ones. So the game is actually pushing you to make changes on the board. You just can't sit in one place with your, for example, yellow leader and gather points, because it's good for nothing. And about the points, you keep them hidden at all times behind the screen, and that's also pretty cool, because you will lose track at some point of the game. You will lose track what other players are gathering, what do they need, etc. So I really like the concept. And another great thing about Huang is the gameplay time. So the setup, which you can see right now, will take you about a minute or two, and the game itself will take you about 90 minutes, which is pretty amazing for this kind of game. And why is it so fast to play? Because of the elegant rules. So these rules are, I would say, more or less perfect for this kind of a game. Nothing to add, nothing to subtract, everything is in place. So the designer did a really good job with these elegant rules. You don't think about them, you just play once, of course, you know them. And well, maybe perhaps to me, I would wish for something more, like some more tactics, some more strategical options, some more ways to score points. But, well, I guess guys at Phalanx figured that out already. As I saw on the GameFound preview of the GameFound campaign, they are adding some new modules that will add some new mechanics to the game. And I really can't wait to see what new content they have prepared. And if the campaign goes well, I suppose there will be stretch goals to unlock, and well, fingers crossed for that, because I would really want to see some more of content and more of ways to score points and, you know, have fun over the board. One thing I've noticed when it comes to the rules of Huang is that it reminds me a little bit of some mechanics of Rising Sun and Ankh, the gods of Egypt. I don't know if Eric Lang was inspired by this game, but I definitely see some similarities. Like in Ankh, when it comes to the game board, you are splitting the states from time to time, and it creates different game board for basically any game. And it's the same here. While by adding tiles, you are changing the shape and the state itself. And when it comes to Rising Sun, you are betting there while fighting with your Ronins and your tokens. And here you are in a way betting as well, because when you are waging a war, then basically it's all gonna boil down to who will outbet who. Well, just a thought. Perhaps the one single element I love the most about Huang is the double effect of leaders and tiles while they are on the board and off the board. As an example, I have the red leader over here, and while he is on the board, it can generate you some red victory points. Cool, but if he's off the board, you can use it while the war is going on to support one of the sides. Pretty much the same goes for all the leaders besides the white one, because white is for generating wild points, which is special on its own. Next, we have game tiles. So basically every tile color besides white ones will let you do something different on board and off the board. So for example, let's say green ones will let you establish pagoda if possible. Yellow ones will add you some strength when there is a revolt going on. Blue ones will basically let you to incite peasant riot and get rid of one of the tiles on the board, and possibly get rid of the leaders as well, because remember leaders have to be adjacent to governor tiles. And well, red ones are used as a soldiers while at war, pretty much the same as the red leader of the board. And well, as you can see, there is a use for all the elements if they are on board and off the board, and that's pretty much cool because it always puts you in a situation when you have multiple options to use your tiles and leaders. So having yellow leader on board is good, and having it off board is also good, and that's pretty cool. It's simple, but it's also ingenious, I'd say. And that, my friends, brings us to the conclusion of this preview video for Huang. And I have to say, this game is pretty amazing. It's engaging, it's fast, it's about constant interaction between the players and ever-changing game board, and it lets you optimize, but just your turn, and it's enough, at least enough for me, not to fry your brain cells. And well, I think Phalanx Games did a pretty amazing job with the revised edition. It looks really well, and I can't wait to see what they have prepared in the campaign. And I can't wait to see the new game modules as well. If you are interested in that game, make sure to check out Huang on GameFound. You will find the link in the description of this video. And well, I have to say thanks for watching. It was a pleasure presenting that game to you, and bye bye!